Tonight, we're covering a disturbing trend that's putting your mail, your packages, and even your postal workers at serious risk. This is a story that affects every single one of us, especially during this holiday season. Home security footage from Aurora has revealed a shocking crime in progress. Two suspects were captured on camera robbing a United States Postal Service letter carrier while she was inside her mail truck. But this wasn't just any robbery. These criminals had a very specific target in mind: her arrow key. Now you might be asking yourself, what exactly is an arrow key and why would thieves risk federal charges to get one? Let me break this.
Hey Siri, 911! Hey Siri, 911! Hey, call the cops! Call the cops!
Down for you. An arrow key is a master key, and it's not something just anyone can possess. Under federal law, only authorized mail carriers are allowed to have these keys. And here's why they're so valuable to criminals. With just one arrow key, thieves can access entire community mailbox systems. Those large cluster boxes you see in apartment complexes and neighborhoods? One arrow key opens all of them. But it doesn't stop there. These arrow keys also provide access to those familiar blue mail drop boxes you see positioned throughout your city. You know the ones where you drop off your outgoing letters and packages. With an arrow key, criminals can open these boxes at will, grabbing everything inside. Think about what people typically mail, especially during the holiday season. Checks, gift cards, valuable documents, credit card information. All of it becomes instantly accessible to these thieves. Your personal financial information, your holiday gifts to loved ones, all of it at their fingertips with one stolen key. This is why federal investigators are treating these thefts with such urgency. We're not talking about petty theft here. We're talking about organized criminal operations that can compromise entire communities' mail security with a single stolen key. Now let's talk about just how serious this problem has become. The numbers are staggering and frankly alarming. Since October of last year, we're talking about just over a year, more than 300 postal workers have been attacked specifically for their arrow keys. Let that sink in for a moment. 300 attacks. These aren't random muggings. These are targeted assaults on federal employees doing their jobs, serving their communities. Richard Byrne, the union president for mail carriers in Colorado, has been vocal about this crisis. He's made it clear that a strong message needs to be sent. These attacks will not be tolerated, and suspects in these crimes need to be held accountable. And he's praising law enforcement for their swift action in cases like the Aurora incident. According to Byrne, when law enforcement acts quickly from the very beginning, making arrests and building strong cases, that's exactly what's needed to combat this trend. But here's what's particularly concerning. According to federal court records, these arrow keys have become hot commodities on the black market. We're talking about thousands of dollars per key. Organized criminal networks are actively seeking these keys, and they're even using advanced technology to exploit them. Federal investigators have discovered that thieves are attempting to duplicate arrow keys using 3D printing techniques. They're reverse engineering these federal security devices with modern technology. This isn't some low-level street crime. This is sophisticated criminal enterprise. In the Aurora case that brought this issue to light, federal investigators were able to track down one of the suspects through GPS technology. The thieves had stolen a mail scanner along with the arrow key, and that scanner was broadcasting its location. It led investigators directly to a residence, resulting in arrests. But this is just one case among hundreds. And for every case that gets solved, how many more are happening across the country that we don't hear about? The Postal Service has issued recommendations for the public during this crisis, especially with the holiday season upon us. They're advising people to reconsider how they send valuable items. If you're planning to send money or gift cards through the mail, the post office is recommending you deliver those packages in person, either directly to your mail carrier or at a post office location. This is a significant change from how most of us are used to operating. We're accustomed to simply dropping our mail in a box or leaving it in our home mailbox for pickup. But the reality is, with these arrow key thefts happening, that's no longer the safest option for valuable items. What often gets lost in crime statistics is the human element. We're talking about postal workers, your neighbors, members of your community, who are being targeted and attacked while doing their jobs. Richard Byrne emphasized this point strongly. Letter carriers are members of their communities. They watch out for their customers, and in return, customers should watch out for them. It's a relationship built on trust and mutual respect that goes back generations. But that relationship is now under threat. Postal workers are dealing with this crisis on a daily basis. On the workroom floor, they're receiving messages and warnings about these attacks. The union is working through its channels to keep carriers informed and prepared. However, Byrne stresses that they need assistance getting the word out to the public. This isn't just a postal service problem, it's a community problem. When your mail carrier is at risk, your mail is at risk. Your packages are at risk. Your personal information is at risk. The question was posed to Byrne. Is there enough messaging going out to letter carriers to prepare themselves for this type of activity? His response was telling. Yes, carriers are getting the message, they're dealing with this daily. But the public awareness needs to catch up. We, as a community, need to be aware of what's happening. We need to watch out for our postal workers the same way they watch out for us. If you see suspicious activity around mail trucks or mailboxes, report it. If you notice someone following your mail carrier, say something. These aren't just federal employees, they're our neighbors. So what's being done about this crisis? Law enforcement and the Postal Service are taking action, but the question remains, is it enough, and is it happening fast enough? Richard Byrne has been clear about what he believes is necessary: consistent federal prosecution. These are federal crimes and they need to be treated as such at every level. Swift arrests, like what happened in the Aurora case, are crucial. But arrests are only the first step. Prosecution needs to follow, and it needs to be consistent across jurisdictions. The message to would-be criminals needs to be crystal clear. Attacking a postal worker, stealing an arrow key, tampering with federal mail, these actions will result in serious federal consequences. No exceptions, no leniency. On the technological front, the United States Postal Service announced earlier this year that they're working on a major security upgrade. They're in the process of upgrading nearly 58,000 arrow locks across the country. These new locks will be electronic, representing a significant technological advancement over the traditional mechanical arrow keys. This is a massive undertaking. We're talking about upgrading locks on community mailboxes and collection boxes in every state, every city, every community. The scale of this project is enormous, but the question everyone's asking is, will it be effective? Electronic locks could certainly provide better security and tracking capabilities. If a lock is tampered with, it could send an alert. If unauthorized access is attempted, there could be a digital record. These are significant improvements over traditional keys that, once stolen, provide unlimited access with no tracking whatsoever. But implementation takes time. And while the Postal Service works through this upgrade process, the attacks continue. The thefts continue. And postal workers and the public remain vulnerable. So what can you do to protect yourself and your community during this crisis? First, reconsider how you send valuable items through the mail. Those gift cards, checks, and sensitive documents? Take them directly to the post office or hand them to your carrier in person. Yes, it's less convenient, but it's significantly more secure. Second, be aware of your surroundings when checking your mail. If you notice suspicious individuals near community mailboxes or mail trucks, keep your distance and report it to local law enforcement and postal inspectors immediately. Third, consider alternative methods for sending money during the holidays. Electronic transfers, payment apps, or direct deposits might be safer options than mailing checks or gift cards, at least until this crisis is better controlled. Fourth, and this is crucial, watch out for your mail carrier. These are people serving your community and they're at risk. If you see something suspicious, report it. If you notice someone following a mail truck or acting strangely around postal workers, contact authorities. Fifth, secure your incoming mail as quickly as possible. Don't leave mail sitting in your box for extended periods. The longer it sits, the more vulnerable it is. And finally, stay informed. This is an evolving situation. As the Postal Service implements new security measures and as law enforcement continues to crack down on these crimes, the landscape will change. Stay up to date with announcements from the Postal Service and local law enforcement. The arrow key crisis represents a serious threat to our mail system, our postal workers, and our communities. With more than 300 attacks in just over a year, with thousands of dollars at stake on the black market, and with sophisticated criminal operations using technology to exploit vulnerabilities, this is not a problem that's going away on its own. It requires coordinated action from law enforcement, consistent federal prosecution, technological upgrades from the Postal Service, and community awareness from all of us. Your mail carrier is a member of your community. They deserve our support and our vigilance. And during this holiday season, as we think about sending gifts and well wishes to our loved ones, we need to also think about doing it safely and securely. This is a reminder that the conveniences we take for granted, like simply dropping a letter in a mailbox, can be disrupted by criminal activity. But with awareness, precaution, and community cooperation, We can protect both our postal workers and our mail. Stay safe out there, watch out for your neighbors and protect your mail. If you found this information valuable and important, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, especially during this holiday season when people need to be aware of these risks. And subscribe to the channel for more in-depth coverage of issues that affect your daily life and your community. And let's hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you experienced mail theft in your area? Have you noticed increased security around your community mailboxes? What do you think the Postal Service and law enforcement should be doing to address this crisis? Your perspective matters, so drop a comment and let's discuss this important issue together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.